Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's what they do on the podcast. That's what they be doing.
Alright, welcome to another episode of Academia. School's back in session. Yeah, I know, I got you in that.
Yeah. We back.
Yeah.
We lit.
Yeah,
we back in the building.
You gonna get us sued. We can't be stealing other people's material.
They don't know who we stole that from.
But it's nice to finally have the boys back. How y'all been for the last 2 weeks?
Oh, you know. Cooling.
Pretty good. Hanging in there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The man, the myth, the legend has returned.
Yeah.
We back at it. Thank you, Julia, for stepping in.
Yeah, she did a great job last week.
Job.
Yeah,
Round
you
of
did
applause
do a
for
good
Julia.
job. Hopefully, we look forward to linking up with you soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about how, like, we want to try to get her and Callie on, get a nice conversation like we used to have back then.
Little round table.
Podcast party.
Podcast party.
Oh, that's a PP alert.
Anyways, tell me what y'all been up to.
Well,
I've been drinking this water.
Need that
Hydration is key.
Hydration is key.
I spent last week hydrating. That's where I was at. Brian, where you been at?
all I'm gonna say is
He's shaking his head like
yeah,
eyes closed, like he's getting ready to spit out a nice, good poetry for you.
Or 16.
There are times in life where we are often tested. And we have to stay positive and continue to fight and push towards those. And no matter what it was or what it is, I'm not going to let my problems or issues that I'm dealing with affect this podcast. So I have to keep it moving at all times. Remember that.
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
If anybody is like tuning into this podcast and they just went straight to episode 4, we didn't introduce ourselves.
Yeah, that is right.
They don't know who we are.
Yeah, that is right.
We didn't introduce no plugs, no nothing. We forgot plug time, all that.
Let's start from the beginning. Well, we don't have to start from the beginning, but
okay, this is just like that was a 5-minute intro. Welcome to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
welcome. My name is Anthony Marshall.
I'm Brian Marshall.
And again, I am the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only Crown Prince, Aaron Jackson.
Hey.
What's up, everybody?
You got to keep that up for like every podcast now because
that's my spiel, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. How else will I be known as the man, the myth, and the legend? I'm Black Superman, Black Clark Kent, and Bruce Wayne.
He's the Black Clark Kent, and I am the Samurai.
Samurai.
What?
That's my thing now.
Okay. What are we calling you, Samurai B or something?
No. Samurai B.
You know, a samurai, he does his own thing.
Kind of remind me of Samurai Jack. Remember that
That's
show?
What I was gonna say. Was he Samurai Jack or you Samurai Was it Shampoo? I think Shampoo. I don't know. If you in the anime, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I just don't remember.
It's more of a Mortal Kombat. You know, I love weight stuff. Everybody in Mortal Kombat is kind of big. I kind of jigs with Kenshi, so it's one of them samurai things.
Well, no worry, you gonna
start doing the podcast with a blindfold on, bro?
Hey, I jigs with it too. I might get one of them swords. I have to start chopping somebody else.
Oh,
no. I like those though.
Oh no!
I even changed my Instagram to the Samurai Black_Samurai 25.
Wait, did you really?
Yeah, that's what it is now.
I haven't really been
Black_Samurai 25. That's what it is.
Oh, you're still going with the number 25?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, where does 25 come from?
It's
you supposed to be one better than Kobe or something?
No.
Because you jump shot. I'm sorry, it's not like that.
Yeah, I don't remember where you even got that from. Was that like your number for like your basketball back
25 was my basketball jersey number, but also 25 to me means a lot more. If you want me to get in detail, I guess. It is an important number of life because we are supposed to, due to society, at the age of 25, we're supposed to be at a certain level. And keeping in mind that because you don't get there at the age of 25, it doesn't mean to get down on yourself. Because they say by the time you get out of high school, which would be 17, 18, go do your degree, do your 4 years, you find a girl, settle down, and you're supposed to have a happy life. And by that time, you'll be at what? Around 25. That's not how it works.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, that's to whose standards is that by, though?
I'm just saying that would be the education system.
Well, let's just keep it simple. Let's say 25, you could be like 25 cent.
No, we're not doing that. I just
told you quarter away from being 100.
You could remember that episode of SpongeBob? He was like, "Hey, Patrick,
no,
I got something better than 24."
25.
Oh my gosh!
I just told you. How you gonna change what I told you? That is an important number. That doesn't take away that.
Because I don't agree with it.
It's not for you to agree with. That's not your number. You don't get the reason with it.
Oh, goodness.
I'm just saying that 25 is an important number in life. When you get 25,
I think every number is an important number in life.
I like 23 better.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
And that's not for like Jordan or anything. I just like the number 23. That's like the age I was thinking, even though I'm 23 right now. But that's like the age that I was thinking back in the day was like perfect in my opinion. Because like you're 21, at least past 21. You're able to do pretty much almost anything.
When you get 25 is when you get to start doing the rentals and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, I don't really care for like that too much for real.
Well, I'm just saying that's when you literally you are not excluded from anything. Because some car places don't let you do stuff too.
You know, if you don't got good credit or if you down on your luck, then whether you 85 or 25, you're not gonna be able.
But that's why we got Uber everywhere.
We just need to cut this whole podcast. You guys just ruined my moment.
We're not cutting
we're not cutting it.
You gotta stop being so sensitive on these podcasts. Like this is normally how we talk in real life. So if you get roasted, if you get flamed on, if I'm stating my opinion, then that's no different than if the mics was off.
Yeah,
she being all sensitive for just because the mic's in front of you.
I'm trying to tell my reasoning for my number of why 25 is an important number to me, and you're gonna disagree why because it's not you. It's not supposed to be important to you. It's important to me. And you
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm just making conversation.
Well, remember what Aaron said on episode 1. We keep it raw and uncut, so we're not cutting anything.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, well, I guess it's true.
Suck it up, player.
Ooh. Uh-oh. The roast is beginning.
He sound like Young and May. He was like, ooh.
Man, it's been a while since I've heard that.
Oh, goodness gracious.
That joint used to be fire.
Speaking of music, has anybody heard that new Nicki Minaj track?
Chun-Li. Dude,
no, I haven't heard that one.
Street Fighter?
It's hard.
It was groovy. It's groovy.
It's basically referring back to Cardi B because the actual song on Motorsport got exposed.
Yeah.
It's saying that she knew that it was out the whole time and that Cardi B can't say she didn't hear the verse and stuff. And Nicki was on it first. And they argued about it and they had beef. So apparently they have the same hairdresser and they had a scheduling conflict. And everybody thought they were beefing real tough because Nicki wouldn't do the photo shoot the same time with everybody else. But what it was is her hairstylist couldn't make it in time, so they had to reschedule to do the video shoot. And she told Quavo that she had already. She told Quavo that she had already that he need backup. He needs them to back him up and stuff. And he was like, "Well, if you were my girl, or whatever, then I'd back you up and stuff." Because my take on that was because he's not going to break his group up to try to support Nicki, even though Offset's with Cardi B and all the other stuff. They're still boys and stuff like that. So she got upset and offended by it and felt like that she was the bad guy. So she ended up dropping the Chun-Li. So you need to check it out. It's actually hot. I ain't gonna lie.
I would give it a solid, and this is after one listen in the car on the way up here. I would give it a solid 6.
Oh, that's still a little bit better than the average. That's like okay.
Out of 10.
That's like okay.
I mean, it was groovy. I'd have to give it like a couple more listens, maybe throw like some headphones on and listen to it again. But it shoved in the car, so that was cool. But I wouldn't, I wouldn't add it to my playlist quite yet.
That shit, the beat's definitely hard. But
I'm gonna take Team Cardi B for this one, bro. I'm gonna be on Cardi's side.
Well, right now Cardi has to respond. So as of right now, Cardi has an L.
Nah, Cardi dropped an album and it's fire.
She did drop an album, but that doesn't take away that she has, just like when Meek Mill was beefing with Drake, he was on tour for his album. He still had to respond, and we seen what happened. So we don't really know yet. He did.
I guess.
Drake came out with 2 back-to-back.
Oh, my gosh.
He came out.
Hey, but I do be hearing Cardi does be having so much more higher expectation and better results than like Nicki has lately because
she can have that.
Cardi's on a clout ride. She's
on
a clout ride right now.
She took off after that song and ran with it like she was supposed to.
She's chasing the bag more than anything
to build her empire. But the thing is, she's not Nicki Minaj. She's not 200 million in yet.
Well, of course she's not supposed to be.
She's only been popping for the past like 2-3 years. Nicki been out since like 2010, 2011.
Yeah, she had plenty more time on her hands.
All I'm saying is that let's not get ahead of ourselves. She can be that potential. She has potential to do all that. Just remember that she's not on the icon status yet, like Nicki Minaj is. So She can be his most.
Would we say Nicki Minaj is an icon though?
Yes, because who has sold the records that she has sold from when she came out till now? Even the way the record sales are done now, she is worth $200 million. There's not that many female artists that are worth that. She is on the top of the chart. She is the top dog. She is an icon.
I'm not hating on Nicki. I mean, she's great.
Look at the sales.
She
is selling.
I mean, you know,
like
all her little Barbies is gonna go crazy for and stand for Nicki, which I'm not hating on Nicki. Maybe I'm speaking more on the personal level for me.
Yeah, you got
I mean, she's cool. You feel me? I bop to her, I ride to her, whatever. But I'm not, not a Nicki stan. And I don't know, for me personally, I couldn't call her an icon for me. Now, for the game in and of itself that was lacking female rappers when she first came out, then absolutely, sure. She did come up out of nowhere, but it was that whole Young Money collective, though, that came up with her. Because it was Drake, it was Wayne, which Wayne has been Wayne since, like, 01. Right. But probably before that. But it was that whole Young Money collective with Twist and Wayne and Chucky and Drizzy and all them. That whole collective. But at the time, they were popping because it was Young Money as a collective. Though. Right. If you go back to like that Bedrock era and when they first came out and they dropped that Young Money album, that was them as a collective. Like you could separate Nicki, but it was all of them together as Young Money. Though. It was Weezy's brand.
For anybody that doesn't know, you'll have to do your research, obviously, just like anybody else does on this. But if you go back to album sales and stuff like that, like for a prime example, Beyonce would be classified as an icon. She's worth $300-something million. Anytime you're worth over $100 million, you're getting pretty much that's almost icon stats because there's not that many artists and rappers that are worth that and more. So Nicki Minaj is an icon because she's worth like $200 million, I believe, if I'm correct.
I'm gonna do a fact check on that. I'm genuinely curious.
She's worth $200. She has her own, sponsored by the alcohol, that little pink Barbie or whatever that stuff is. I don't know what it's called, and she's got her own stuff out. And
you wrong, cuz.
What is it?
Nicki Minaj has an estimated net worth of $70 million.
Is that now, or is that go to the?
I just did my Googles.
Go to her prime max.
The Googles don't lie.
Net worth of $70 million, bro. It's right here. You want to look at it?
That's what she's brought in now.
September 25th, 2017.
That's 17.
Nicki Minaj has an estimated net worth of $70 million. It's not gonna jump another 30 plus million.
You'd be surprised,
4 months, dude.
Ask Master P. You'd be surprised.
Well, that just depends.
Either way, for
$70 million is still good.
For today's era of hip hop and rap in general, I'll give you that. Being a female rapper, she's an icon as far as popularity is concerned. Absolutely.
Sales. Look at the sales.
I'm not saying that.
For prime example, Beyonce in this era because they changed the way they do the album sales now. Yeah. After 2010 and all that. After she.
Yeah, they started adding streams in, so your streams, all that is included in, like whether you're a platinum recording artist.
It's harder to get sales. To go higher.
Because people aren't buying albums anymore; they're just streaming stuff. So.
Exactly.
So with that being sales, like prime example, Beyonce is an icon. She had on that Lemonade album, if I'm correct, she had a little bit over 1 million copies sold. That is impressive for this time being. Back in the day, she would have had a lot more. She would have came up in a different era. That's really hard. But that was Nicki Minaj in her prime. That was every album at the time. That was every. I wouldn't
even say that you could put Nicki Minaj and Beyonce on the same
pedestal, you cannot put them on the same
level. No, they're not on the same level.
Beyonce is at that point now where it's like she's
not a rapper.
Legendary.
She's not a rapper.
I didn't say she was. So she's not a rapper.
Well, yeah, let's say you're comparing apples to oranges on that.
Musical artists in general, Beyonce has like surpassed that level of just regular. Oh, you have like your Sierras. You have. I even say you have your Sierras, you have your Rihannas, you have your Mayas, your A. Marie's, anybody, I don't know, anybody that's like an R&B female artist nowadays. Right. Beyonce is that like upper tier now over them, I would say.
Yeah, she's for the R&B game, like, I would say.
Your Beyonce's and your Mariah Carey's, they're like upper tier, whereas you have
and Alicia Keys.
She's
Alicia Keys is worth $80 million. She is there.
I'm not saying that she's not, but I'm just speaking of like that top tier though.
That would be. You don't classify Alicia Keys as a top tier? Are you kidding me?
Maybe in her heyday. Not.
We're talking about overall. She's not putting out music like that anymore.
No, she's not. Overall. I wouldn't say she's good. I'm an Alicia Keys fan, but I still wouldn't put her at Beyonce level. Like, that's like to say, okay, so right now, top tier in, like, rap and hip-hop, so you have, like, a Jay-Z, a Kanye,
Who's the GOAT?
and maybe like
Jay-Z.
an Eminem, a Lil Wayne, and then below them you'll have like a J. Cole and a Kendrick. And then you'll go and you'll have like
But that's
a
two
Drake
different eras, though. What
that.
you just did.
But I'm not speaking. It doesn't matter what
So,
era. I'm just
technically-
speaking like Tierra in general. Though.
But technically,
because
a
Kanye
Kendrick,
is still this era.
a Kendrick and a Drake and a Kanye. Well, no, I wouldn't say Kanye. That's kind of in between, whatever you want to call it. That would be top tier for this era, this generation, this time frame. Then Jay-Z would not be classified as this time frame, even though he's been rapping for like 20 years. Let's be honest. He would be that other time frame.
If Jay-Z drops an album, the hip hop world stops, bro. If Kanye drops an album, the hip hop world will stop.
First of all,
like Kanye just dropped an album. That's gonna be front page headlines. If Kanye just up and drops an album today, right now, that's front page. If Jay-Z up and drops an album today, that's front page.
Because
If Lil Skies drops an album today, nobody's gonna. Well, Lil Skies fans will care about it, but I'm not gonna care about it.
What you have to understand is
Regular
Jay-Z
hip-hop
and
fans won't care
Kanye
about
are
it.
not consistent. I won't say Kanye. Jay-Z's not consistently putting out music like he used to.
How's he not?
The man doesn't put that much material out like Drake.
He just
and them
dropped
do.
an album last year.
You know, yeah, but what did he put out before that?
I think Magna Carta Holy Grail. And
That
that
was
was like
another-
2012.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't. With Jay-Z, the thing is, he's consistent with his music. He's a businessman with his promotions and what he does. He always has something positive going on. He's not really involved in a whole lot of drama other than him cheating on Beyonce, of course, which was due to success in her album.
I even feel like that's a whole like scheme in and of itself.
A scheme in
know
itself
if that
of
album-
business.
That was just a story of 2 albums.
Exactly.
But
with
Lemonade
that being
and
said,
444.
Exactly. With that being said,
Oh yeah. Come to think of
that's
it.
exactly what that is. A
To
business
be honest,
move.
I think Lemonade actually kind of hurt Beyonce.
You think so?
No.
Yeah.
That shows
Nah,
different side of
dude,
Beyonce.
she got that whole hot sauce in the bag swag popping. That whole she did the Super Bowl that year off the Lemonade album. I don't know, man. She started like a movement.
That actually helped her because they said they never seen that side of Beyonce in her personal life. So that really made her have a
Well,
connection
I've been
with
hearing
the
a lot
fans.
of controversy when it comes to that, for real. But it's whatever.
Well, with Jay-Z, like I was saying, like him, he's not putting out consistent material like that. We know Jay-Z from back in the day, so anytime he puts something out, you want to stop.
Hard knock life
Yeah.
for us.
Anytime he puts something out, you want to listen to it. You want to hear it and see if he's still.
But that's my point. Like that's being an icon, being a legend. Keyword you just said. If he puts something out, you want to listen to it.
But Kanye,
because it's Jay-Z.
I don't know if I can still classify him as an icon.
How could you not?
Because you go off. You
False. False.
Can
You
I
telling me
finish?
right now if Kanye just up and drops an album right now, you're gonna be like, nah, I can't even listen to it.
Well, can I finish? Why?
Oh yeah, well, tons of people will listen to that.
Listen to it. But let's be honest. A lot of the Kanye stuff, it has to do with his attitude. He's all crazy and he's doing all that
I
weird
can't
stuff.
stand his ego.
So
I disagree.
I can't stand
just like
him.
when he went on Sway in the morning.
I could have a whole separate podcast on Kanye by itself, but
Listen,
I'll leave.
He
we'll
has
save
changed.
it for
Okay,
that.
you could call him an icon as far as like when he was the first person with the drums on the beat, the 808 stuff. He's done some things, yes.
The pink polos, the backpack. Come on, bro.
That's Ralph Lauren. We don't care about that. I mean, that was a style. He was just one of the first black people to do it.
His style is questionable at times.
Yeah, and not only top of that, look, all I'm saying is with him, there's always some story about him getting checked in some mental hospital or something crazy. There's never like Jay-Z just drop an album and there you go. He always has got something going on. He's doing something and saying something crazy, disrespect. We were laughing. We was at work. My supervisor was showing us when he was on Sway in the morning acting a fool. You don't know the answers, Sway. Talking all crazy. How you gonna go on another man's show and talk crazy and all he did was ask you a question? Like Sway said, forget these mics. We can cut these mics and these cameras off. What you want to do? Then he tried to act like he had some sense and went back to talking to him.
All I'll say is
Kanye's a
before
douchebag,
you, dude, I wouldn't go there.
He is a douchebag,
he
man.
has. He has.
He is.
Yeah, he might have a higher sense of confidence than most.
That's what you
I'll
call
give you
it.
that. I'll give
It's
you that.
arrogance.
But in
It's arrogance.
today's world, do you not have to be just a little bit cocky?
What did he
I don't
say?
know. His
Hey,
ego and cockiness really gets
You
me.
have to have the perfect sense of confidence, especially being a black male in
Let me
general.
pull
You
those
have to
lyrics
have
up.
the perfect sense of confidence
you done pissed me
and
off.
cockiness.
Okay, Brian.
Cockiness. You gotta have a balance of the two, bro, because otherwise this world will walk all over you, bro. movement.
I mean,
that's like not even just for black males. That's for women, anybody in general. You have to be. You have to have
lyrical wise, he is not up to par anymore. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. He said in a song off of his previous album where he went on that crazy rant that if I fuck this model or something like that,
okay,
my bad,
Brian.
that what and she just bleached her a-hole, that I'm gonna feel like a a-hole if I get that on my teeth. That is garbage. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay,
that was garbage.
Okay, so now let's talk about all the artists that you listen to haven't put out some questionable lyrics before.
They all put out questionable
This isn't
stuff.
necessarily. This is no longer the generation of it's got to be the hardest, most metaphorical, conscious bars. If you want conscious bars, you have to look for that now. Now, that's not necessarily speaking in the sense of I'm not defending that lyric, but
isn't music complicated at times?
Is it complicated? Absolutely, but it's also simplistic in how you could make a simple song and put it in a club. As long as it has a simple hook and a nice beat, people will jig to it.
Yeah, that is true.
And that's my.
But Kanye's supposed to be a visionary. He's supposed to be the person that
still got his own clothing line. He still got his
garbage.
own shoe.
It's garbage. Ain't
It's
nobody
only
buying
garbage
that.
because you can't afford it.
No, who wears it? Have you seen anybody talk about it?
Have you seen?
Then Kanye.
Go look at any celebrity, and I guarantee every celebrity that has any little bit of money or has any kind of pop culture, anything, has a pair of Yeezys. And tell me I'm lying.
Okay, them Yeezys.
The shoes.
I did see a lot of people.
Look at how a lot of celebrities dress.
To put out a pair of shoes,
dude, and not necessarily.
They all do that.
I mean, and that's no different than saying, if you look at a
you
nice
said clothing line,
$500.
I'm talking
if
about.
You look at some Givenchy or some Gucci, that shit is ugly, bro. But that doesn't mean that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Those multicolored shirts and all that stuff.
I don't find
ugly,
Gucci attractive at all.
But because of the brand name, people wear it.
That's true as well. But you have to
look at how a lot of these celebrities dress. That stuff is not straight out of Target.
What you have
not
to
a
understand,
basic tee.
The Yeezys are sponsored by Adidas, which is the Adidas thing first. Kanye can put his ideas into it. That's why he left Nike. If anybody doesn't know that, because they wasn't letting him release what he wanted to release and wouldn't let him be fully creative with the styles of the shoes that he wanted. So partially, that's mostly Adidas.
I guarantee you can't find some Red Octobers for under $1,000 right now
because they don't make them anymore. Anytime, just like Jordan, for prime example,
and he only releases Yeezys, but you're still not gonna find them for under $1,000.
He only gives out like 2,000 pairs, something like that. That's why it's like that.
Yeah.
If he was to print multiple Yeezys out, I'm not saying you wouldn't buy them because I like them. I'm not gonna lie, I like the zebra print.
Okay,
but what I'm saying
so how you gonna trash the brand and say the brand is trash if you just gonna contradict yourself and say,
you said his own clothing brand. He has an actual clothing brand that is his stuff.
Partnered with Adidas.
No.
Yes.
The stuff that he wears on the runway?
Yes, it is. That's with Adidas, bro.
We're not talking about the sports gear stuff. We're talking about that old garb. Yeah. You didn't know that, did you?
That stuff is with Adidas, too, bro.
Well, that stuff that I'm talking about,
his
it is
entire
garbage.
clothing
Nobody is wearing
Adidas.
that. Not one person.
Because it's not meant to just be worn. You're not going to see a regular Joe wearing that stuff out in public.
You don't see no celebrity wearing it. You don't see a celebrity wearing it.
Yes, you do.
I bet you $50,000. Look. You show
not giving this man no fashion shows because his clothing line is garbage.
Show me one. There are models that get paid. They just need some money. You can be a model right now on the street and get paid to wear somebody else's clothes. You don't get to keep it. Just get to show off the gear. They need somebody that looks presentable to show the gear off.
Right.
Doesn't mean anything. They pick any regular average Joe.
To be honest, a lot of the times whenever you see celebrities modeling like clothing, they're either the actual clothing or like it's Photoshop.
For a female, it's called a video
just need somebody
vixen.
They just need somebody to represent.
They just need somebody to look in. For a female, it's called a video vixen.
His clothing brand is not meant for the average Joe.
I want you to. You still have not told me one celebrity that has wore his clothing.
Justin Bieber.
Show me. Show me. No, he has not. He has not.
Well, send me the Google.
He's like,
you want me to do my Googles
Justin
again and prove you
Bieber.
wrong like I did with the Nicki Minaj net worth? Because we can do that.
He got clown for having it on the Breakfast Club about that clothing brand. They was like, man, Kanye, what, you know.
You can talk all that stuff, but what clothing brand do you have?
We're not talking about me.
What clothing brand says Marshall on the back besides the Marshall store? And it's
why did you change
not
the
named
narrative?
after you.
Because the heat got turned you right.
Because how you gonna hate on something if you can't do it?
I don't like it. It's not popular. It's not what's in. It's not even good looking. Period.
Who's to say?
I like the Yeezys, but other than the shoes,
yeah, the Yeezys are the only things that I find good looking.
Okay, well that's all you got. That's all you got to buy. Then just buy the Yeezys.
Let's stick to the narrative.
I'm not gonna buy a Kanye shirt either. I'm not gonna buy a Kanye shirt either, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna disrespect it and hate it. I'm not gonna hate the movement.
You can hate. You don't. I'm not saying hate it. You're allowed to dislike something, or if you're not, that's why they make different clothes and styles.
But don't hate on it though. You can dislike something without hating on it. Is what I'm saying.
I don't like what he stands for. That's just my opinion. I don't hate the guy. I'm not for him.
Okay, and I agree. You have a majority opinion with that opinion. I disagree with that. But
I don't know why you like this guy. He's so arrogant. He's such cocksucker. Like, you need to sit down
go and watch some Kanye interviews, bro. And I guarantee he can say some things that will change your perspective. Bro.
I don't know. I have listened to a lot of
his more modern day interviews. His more calm, sane interviews where he can explain where he's taken some speech classes and can explain his crazy ass mind. It makes some of the stuff he says make sense, dude.
Yeah, but it contradicts itself.
He's not just some crazy deranged. So you've never misspoken before. You've never had a drunk moment where you've been like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't have did that." The only difference is his moments are publicized and on the national stage, whereas yours, it's around 5 other dudes and people forget about it and then you move forward.
True.
I'm not saying that, but he contradicts himself a lot when he does a lot of stuff. Kind of like when they was talking about that Colin Kaepernick controversy of how he'll do one thing this week and the next week is something different. With Kanye, there's a whole different.
You just slide Colin Kaepernick in there and then just drop.
First of all, okay, I'll tell you this. This ends this whole conversation. We can move on, talk about something else. J. Cole sent the diss track out to Kanye, who also did not respond.
Which I did like that diss track.
Exactly.
But I wouldn't really say it was a diss track more than it was a commentary. But
it broke down basically Kanye West in a nutshell. If you actually think about it, what J. Cole said, and I actually am a firm believer J. Cole, he's my favorite artist. I like what he stands for, his movement.
The real is back. The veil is back.
Yes, sir. Cold World.
Flow bananas.
Yeah.
Peel this back.
That was actually hard.
But look, you gonna say that was hard, but they gonna say the
t-shirt and the butthole, that was not hard. Let's keep look. You just laughed. You couldn't even say it with a straight line.
I don't know what that is.
I'm gonna pull it up. What's the name of that song?
Copyright.
Okay, I was gonna say you can't play it.
No, I'm just gonna pull the lyrics up. I'm not gonna play it.
We know the lyrics, bro.
I don't. Well, who's this again?
Kanye. He's talking about Kanye.
What song was this?
On the Life of Pablo album.
Okay.
That I just want to feel liberated. That song.
Yeah.
I
didn't like that album for real.
I did.
Yeah, no.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Name of that song was.
But then again, like my ideas.
Was that Father Stretch My Hands Part 1?
Very.
I believe so, but don't quote me on that. Either way, we can drop it.
Yeah.
Because it ain't that serious.
Yeah,
that's what it was. It was part 1 with the Cuddy in it.
He won't let it go.
Come on, Brian.
You need to see.
Let's move on.
And more refreshing news, less refreshing news, actually, I said to that. We may be on the brink of World War III, perhaps.
Yeah, speaking of a lot of stuff.
I will go on the record and publicly say I will be draft dodging.
I was thinking about that. It's actually perfect we're talking about this because we're talking about one person about a lot of ego to another person with a lot of ego. But yeah,
so that's a completely different end of the spectrum. We go from Kanye West to Donald Trump. That's what we do. That's what we do in academia. We keep it.
T-shirt.
You let it go.
I know, Brian.
What are you talking about?
I got the lyrics right here, Brian.
If I talk about it
and she did
separate. We're literally getting ready to go almost 25 minutes.
That's what it said.
Brian.
I'm sorry.
Let it go.
That was horrible.
Let it go.
I feel like we're going Frozen over here, telling him to let it go.
He said that we mistake him for what he thought he was because he can't top himself.
He said, "Come on, Elsa."
All right. But anyway.
But no, like seriously, I was feeling pretty much the same way you were saying earlier, because I really do not want to fight for our country now, and I know a lot of people are not gonna. No, seriously, I know a lot of people are gonna be saying like, "How are you not gonna fight for?"
Get a lot of hate for
yeah, I know we're probably gonna get a lot of hate for it,
he
but
don't
still,
get a lot of hate for it because I didn't say nothing. You just disrespected the military, man. I don't really.
I'm not disrespecting the military at all.
Okay.
Like I have family that's in the military, and I respect them to do that because that's their choice. But in my opinion, I don't want to because there's too many problems that we're having, and we're not trying to fix the problems we're having here. And it's just my idea and all that. Like, it's fine that we're like trying to fix some of the problems over there and like, you know, support our allies and all that. It's good. But still, in my opinion, like we have problems here in America that we need to fix ourselves. And I'm not going to go and fight a war for like killing a bunch of innocent people because a lot of rich and egotistic people over there who has the power to pretty much do whatever they want and have no consequences.
Oil anyway, dude. And I have the utmost. Let me first of all go by saying I have the utmost respect for any soldier, any Marine, anybody in the Air Force, any Navy SEAL. I salute you to the utmost. Because
I respect that.
I personally could not do that. I commend you for that, and I have nothing wrong with how you choose to live your life and how you choose to support your country. So I'll go on record as saying that. I don't want to disrespect any current soldier or any current serviceman because I have the utmost respect for you, and I thank you for that service. But with that being said, me personally, I can't go and shoot another person who I feel has done absolutely nothing towards me. And I always take it back to, we take it just by like a geographical standpoint. So if I was in Syria and I was brought up to think and hate like America, then I would be shooting American soldiers for the same reason. So it's all
that is true.
It's a touchy subject.
It really is.
I don't really know if I want to dive super deep into it, just because I'm not really feeling in that kind of mood today.
I don't want to
super deep conversation.
You don't want me to hand you that remote?
Muhammad Ali said something back in the day when he got arrested for not, when he was in prison for not being.
Let's all translate.
Like, how could I fight for a country that doesn't even fight for me at home?
See, that's exactly how I feel about
they stay the same.
But you know, like there was times where I did want to join the military and all that. But I like just like you said, I respect the people who do so. That's their choice and all that.
Respect for every soldier, every veteran, absolutely to a T, 100%. Thank you for your service from the bottom of my heart. I just couldn't personally do that though. And if you feel that makes me less of a man than you, then so be it. More power to you. But personally, I couldn't do it because I don't share those beliefs. But that's just me.
My whole opinion on it is, if anybody's ever seen that movie Hacksaw Ridge, that's my whole standpoint on it.
I was just getting ready to get there. Like, it also goes against my religion to kill people. And, like, I'm not going to go to war and kill somebody because, like, I'm supposed to. Like,
especially if I'm invading their country. Like, dude, I'm not, you know what I mean? I can't just shoot another person. I can't be desensitized enough to just look across the lines and say, oh, this person has on a Syrian flag or a Russian flag. So because of that,
I could shoot someone, but I couldn't
if
kill
you're
him.
shooting at me, then that's one thing. But why am I even being put in the position to where I have to shoot at you to begin with?
Right. Yeah, we don't have to get too deep in it. Like, it is something that we can probably talk about, but you know we don't have to get too deep in it, and we don't want to.
Just so that I can, just because I don't want to like misspeak in the heat of I don't want to misspeak in the heat of the moment and say something that I don't intend to, or have something I say be taken in the wrong direction. So I would have to sit down and rationalize my thoughts to give it to you in the exact way that I want it to be received. But
we don't want people to like get the wrong idea about what we're saying,
which is why it's a whole touchy subject in itself, especially since I'm not a soldier and I don't share those beliefs. As far as being like talking on like being black in America, then absolutely I can speak on that because I live that every day. But as far as being a soldier and feeling like I need to fight for my country, then I can't speak on that without being able to sit down and rationalize without offending someone unintentionally.
Yeah, I don't want to offend anybody.
I'll leave it with that.
But. Yeah,
that's a perception thing, I guess, on how you look at it as well. Like I said, I'm with you guys. I'm not gonna, get all in depth with it or anything like that. But I feel like the people, because you got to go about order and have rules and things. I feel like that they feel like they're like you have people, and we commit crime every day and stuff like that, and they have their own ways of looking at things, like taking over a country as opposed to someone taking over the streets. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like, there's a different perception of like the freedom standpoint of like happen to follow rules, get up at this time, do this, and do push-ups and different that. I feel like that. I'm not gonna say that's too
I could
strict.
do all of that stuff. Like,
that's not too
having
hard.
like pride,
Well, I know, but I'm saying like
a sense of pride in your country and like being like able to follow order. Then
Well,
sure,
yeah, but I'm saying
I
you
just
would
can't
think-
go to another country and shoot another person for essentially doing the same thing that I'm doing at home.
Right.
I'm just saying you would think the guys asked for the coke, the cash, the combo to the safe would translate over to that was a 50 Cent line. I always like that one. Remember that song when he did his?
You lost me on that one, dude. I didn't
You know,
catch that.
The coke, the
That's
cash, the
fine.
combo to the safe. The street dudes.
Yeah, that's
You think
fine.
that they would do some type of military because it's allowed to shoot
Well,
guns?
yeah, well, I mean, if you have a gang member, that's no different.
Okay, well,
But no, there's a freedom thing. You do what you want to do when you want to do it.
Nah, in the gang, there's rules and regulations in gangs. Don't
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
that.
but it's not as strict as the military. You're not forced to
I
get
wouldn't
push
do.
up.
Okay, go into a blood neighborhood and wear a blue shirt and see what happens.
Oh,
But that's no
gosh.
different than the U.S. going over to where you said what's called
In the Iraq with an American flag on. That's the same. That's what I'm saying though. So it's
But
no
there are-
different. It's the same
We
level
don't
of
just
danger.
go-
The only difference is Iraqi might blow you up.
in the street.
Never mind.
In the streets,
But-
in the streets,
Okay,
you control
guys,
yourself.
seriously, let's move
In the
on.
military, you have to wait for your commander and chief officer to tell you when to move out.
Yeah.
Wait for
You're
your
young.
gang leader to tell you when to
No,
move
you
out.
don't.
Yeah.
First of all, gang is more. That was a
See,
back in the
there's
day
a huge
thing.
difference between a gang and the military, for one. Because, for one, you
Well,
have
you can classify them as a gang in a sense, if you want to. Not in a bad way, but it's-
organized gang.
Yeah, you would say you could classify it as a
military,
gang.
sure.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's change the subject. What y'all want to talk about, man?
no, like I was gonna say, like we are talking about something that relates to like the whole American theme. But how do y'all feel about like the teacher strikes?
I think that's dope.
It's not gonna
I think
work.
it-
You think it's not gonna work?
Wow, okay.
I'll tell you why.
That's-
Because I was just informed.
I'm surprised
from
by
some-
that you said that.
Yeah, me too.
I actually am for it. But the reason why I say it's not going to work is I was just informed by some people that I know that parents or teachers or,
Yeah.
I've been getting information on it. I've been doing some research on it. All the teachers, I have a little brother in school. We have a little brother in school still that had to miss school Friday because there wasn't enough teachers that was going to come in.
Right.
So they went on and canceled Friday for them. So reason why I say it's not going to work, I was told that all the teachers that are taking the strikes and that are taking off are using all their personal days to cash in so they can still get paid, or that way it doesn't hurt them, like against them. There's going to come a time and point where they're going to have to make a really raw decision on, well, I'm out of personal days and vacation time and sick days to where I'm going to have to, either get written up, get fired, or whatever the case is, depending on how many teachers strike.
Well,
it's
how
a number
far
game.
are you
because
willing to go for what's right?
well, that's the thing. But you have obligation as well. Are you going to sacrifice putting food on the table for your children because you don't feel you got paid enough, and then, or are you going to keep striking and push the kids' graduation back and all the other stuff? It's a double standard, I guess you could say. In a
Hey,
sense.
Aaron,
Yeah.
how do you feel that he said that, but in the perspective of back then? You know how strikes were back then when we were fighting for what?
Well, and here's my thing. Like, people always would say, oh, well, you have, like, Black Lives Matter and, like, protesting and marching and sitting out and things like that. And you'll say, oh, well, it's not going to work. Well, then how do you suggest that we protest?
There's more than one way to get a point across.
Oh, well, there.
Yeah, that is true.
How, I mean, okay, you do a sit-in, you protest, you march, you do speeches, you speak on it publicly. The only thing left that hasn't been done is violence.
I'm not disagreeing with
what
those,
is
but
so then what is your suggestion
So
to
you're
remedy
talking
the
about
situation?
the Malcolm X,
I'm not
perspective.
disagreeing with the protests and all the other stuff, but there's a saying as well that goes that what once worked back then won't work tomorrow.
It didn't even work
So-
really back then because it's still not equal.
Okay, well,
No, but it worked to a degree because Martin Luther King, who that's my dude.
Yeah.
He also got some laws passed to where we could vote and all that other good stuff.
Yeah.
Just like in that movie, Selma came out, gave a nice breakdown brief about how all that went about. So it did do some justice back then because back then we didn't have all these things and rights and whatever you want to call it to vote and do these things to try to be close to equal as possible. Back then you kind of had to squally up together. Now that we got all these programs and all this other stuff, it's only so much you can do by marching and all the other stuff because all it's going to lead to you is getting locked up And at the end of the day,
then how do you remedy the situation? Then is what
Yeah,
I'm saying. If you have a negative perspective of all it's going to do is get you locked up.
But you
then how do you remedy the situation? You just accept the inequality,
right? No, but we've been having people come together and understanding the situation on both sides. As of us who are not as wealthy as once was Colin Kaepernick or something like that, we are having celebrities speak out on the situation who have more money in their pocket, that have more assets and connections to try to get the word out and point across for whatever, if it's a publicity thing or not. It's still a step in the right direction.
It's up to celebrities to speak for what's right. It's up to everybody, dude. So whether it's me or Kanye West, our voices still hold the same power in my perspective.
You would think.
Whether I'm affecting my neighborhood or whether he's affecting a nation, if I'm speaking on an inequality, then it deserves to be heard. Whether I'm homeless or whether I'm
anybody that has some clout behind them, it helps a little bit more. I'm not going to say that his opinion is more important than yours or it should be valued over yours, but by him reaching out compared to somebody who doesn't really know who we are, it does a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Brian,
he can go sit down.
His perspective isn't the same as mine, though.
Yeah.
So being that he's sitting at the top, it would be more meaningful and more truthful coming from someone at the bottom than it is at the top. The message means more because it's someone who's going through the same thing.
Right. Like, Brian, I get what you're saying.
That's
and all
like
that,
saying, why would you have a white dude?
We can't just what I'm saying is we can't just schedule a meeting with the president like they can. As of J. Cole,
we don't have to schedule a meeting.
But I'm just saying that's one of the things that they have, one of the assets and the things they can do that we can't. You know, sometimes, I'm not going to say, like Martin Luther King, that's one of the things he did to help get those laws passed. He used to go meet with Jay Boo.
He got to that, though.
Like, he had to work from there.
Excuse me, people. He had to start from somewhere.
And his idea was something.
So you start with talking in your neighborhood. You start with
you get
big enough in your neighborhood. You talk to your neighborhood mayor.
He went with
leadership. He invented the protest.
You talk to your city congressman.
He went with leadership.
You go from your congressman, you go to your city mayor. You go to your state governor. You keep going up.
Protesting is not a new thing. It was new back then because he was one of the few people that was able to conquer a nation.
Protesting has been going on since inequality has existed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying he was a minister, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, Brian, look, you're starting to work for Ford right now. So you're going to be experiencing some of these things now, too. Because there are times where, like, we go on strikes ourselves. And we can't just go and be like, oh, can we have, like, have Bryson Tiller come to Ford and help us out? We can't do that.
What is Bryson Tiller was going to do in that situation? He don't work at Ford.
Yeah, like, we have to be able to fight for ourselves. And we have to be able to do it as, like, a group.
Unit.
Yeah,
but you have to have
there's power in numbers.
There's power in the right number. This stuff here is about numbers. What if it's about cash or if it's about the amount of people? If 5 teachers strike compared to a school that has 200 teachers, it's not going to do you any good. But you lose your job.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing.
You have somebody always in line.
Because those teachers striked.
Yeah.
It made nationwide headlines.
If
just one teacher sits out, nobody bats an eye. But when you have teachers all across the state sitting out and not going to school, and schools are shutting down, the message is being sent.
Right.
But it's the way they're doing it. Like right now, the teachers are shutting down.
But what other
that's
way
how.
do you prefer them to do it?
Let me get my point across. I think that we're not on the same page because we're not understanding what I'm saying, or somewhere along the lines we got lost. Oh, I like the way you look at it. I think that's
because I feel passionate about this stuff.
I like it.
This is what I care about.
What it is,
equality is what I stand for.
Right now is a good thing. They're striking. Yes, I'm not disagreeing with the strike, and I want to see the teachers get paid more. I've always said, I said that in the first podcast, that the teachers deserve to get paid more. What I'm saying is that right now they're using what they have, which is their personal days and their vacation days. What happened? What kind of decision? We won't know what kind of decision is made until these teachers run out. Now, obviously, each teacher doesn't have the same amount of personal days, this and that, due to who's been there longer and all that. Yeah. So they're going to be dropping like flies one by one. Some are going to back out because they have kids at the house that needs to have food on the table.
Yeah.
Some are going to stick through with it, and it's still going to put them in a bad spot because until you have enough.
But it's worth it though, because
here's the thing though,
it may have to get worse
with those kind of jobs, with certain kind of jobs, just like at Ford. Okay, prime example. We have millions of people lined. We have like 10,000 workers there just in one plant alone.
Right.
We have millions of people lined up for every person, just like they do. You're replaceable. That's how they look at you. It's a forward or any job, you are a number. We have so many people lined up with degrees. Oh, well, if you're going to fire yourself or strike, we'll just hire him on in.
Actually, hold on. No, because if the line never moves, like if we have the whole entire factory striking on Ford and then doesn't move, then that puts an eye on plenty of other people that wants to line up.
That's true.
But they can't do anything because they're losing production because their whole entire system is
money. It's all money, bro. Once you start costing the company money, they're going to take notice and be like, okay.
But here's the thing. Realistically speaking, every single person is not going to do that. That's why
I know.
Yeah. I'm not asking every single person.
I'm just saying. But see, that's the difference.
For the right cause.
We got people lined up. You know how our job.
But that also tells you that if you have to look up to an icon to do something, you're a sad person. And I'm not saying like they are a sad person in general, like they're bad and all that. They could be a good person, but it's sad that you want something to go away.
But you won't do anything about it.
Right.
You can't complain about the situation if you're not willing to do anything to remedy it. You can't complain about anything if you're not doing anything to make it better. Then how dare you say anything is wrong if you're not doing anything to make it better?
Exactly.
Because clearly you're okay with the situation if you're not willing to act for it.
Exactly.
Like I agree with that.
So if you're going to bash the situation and say, oh, well, I don't think we should do this, or
I didn't
this
say
is never going to work, then don't stand next to me. And then when it does work and when my voice is heard, don't come stand next to me saying, oh, I knew you could do it, bro. High five. Nah, you was in the other corner a minute ago.
I didn't say, that's where you're getting confused. I never said that it wouldn't work. I never said that. I didn't say they shouldn't strike or do something.
No. We know you're not saying that.
All I said was my personal opinion. I don't think it would. Now, if it works, I want it to work.
It's because people don't
But I'm allowed to say I don't think something would work. I ain't saying don't do that. You shouldn't do that. All I'm saying is right now, we're going to find out here in the next week or so, or because, you only get so many personal days.
That's great.
Sick days.
Malcolm X said something. He said, by any means necessary. So if you're not fully with the movement, then don't stand next to me.
Well, Malcolm X,
if you don't think it's gonna work, then I believe with every inch of my being,
like you can't
either
just
I'm gonna get it
something.
done or I'm gonna die trying. So
if
you're not willing to have that mindset, then don't stand next to me. Because change is never gonna change. Is not meant for people who I think this might work.
There's a controversy with Malcolm X.
LeBron didn't say I think I might make it to the league.
Here's the thing.
Mark Zuckerberg didn't say, I think I might make Facebook. I don't know. It might work. I think
he's going through a little something at the
moment.
Walt
Disney didn't say,
let's not talk.
I think I might make Mickey Mouse. I don't know. It might work. Maybe. I don't know. I think I might do
like
that.
If you truly believe in
also
something.
has a thing with
Martin Luther King didn't say,
the ballot of the
bullet. I think
bullet.
I have a dream.
I think I have a
dream. I might have one, maybe.
What is it called? Bite the bullet with the ballot or something like that? That's one of Malcolm X's things where if you don't believe that what you are in with voting, if it's not what it stands for, then you should sit on your vote and not vote. But then we're preaching today that you still need to vote. So which one is it? Like Muhammad Ali said that I shouldn't be thinking what I thought 30 years ago if I think things are still going to be the same or some stuff like that. He said a quote similar to that, which kind of, so whatever worked back then does not mean it's going to work now. Just
it's not
Malcolm
always.
X believed in violence, which is nothing wrong with that because you got to do something
He
at
didn't
some
believe
point.
in violence, but if somebody hits me in the mouth, then by all means I have the right to hit you back.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to put my hands on you first, but if you threaten me, then I'm going to make sure you never threaten anybody else again.
We're going against some of the things of what he said, like biting the ballot or the bullet or whatever it's called. Of not voting on something you don't believe in, but we're encouraging everybody they need to be voting. You have celebrities standing out, you need to vote,
Yeah.
So,
because when you don't vote, look who's in office.
Well, there you go. But Malcolm X said if it's not what you want, then you shouldn't vote. Like you said, if you're not
I don't know.
See,
I don't know on
that's
this.
what I'm saying.
I'm not.
There's a lot of controversy.
I don't know about that
in
statement,
this
but what I was
going
to say is that I don't necessarily agree wholeheartedly with everything that Malcolm X says. I'm not team Malcolm X till I die. I have the right to pick and choose my own philosophies for whatever I believe in. What I'm saying is absolutely you should vote, even if it comes to the point of where you're just picking the lesser of two evils. You still need to pick who represents you.
You shouldn't quit. And you should continue fighting for whatever you believe in. Like, if it's something that you believe is the way that you want to do and it's the right way for you, you should go for it. Like, if you think you shouldn't vote, then don't vote. If you think you should vote, then you should vote. Like, there's a lot of controversy when it comes to all these things, like the marches, the strikes and stuff. Like, some people, they think maybe there's no way you can fix it. So if you believe that you cannot be able to fix it, then that's fine. Do your thing. But if there's people out there who truly believes that if they can do something to fix it, then yeah, definitely go out there and do something about it.
So let's make a scenario real quick, because I think this is important, because we're not liking to look at the side of this equation. For one, I want the teachers to get paid. Trust me, because I said I don't. My opinion is I don't think it'll work. That doesn't mean it can't work, or that it, that doesn't mean I'm hoping that it doesn't work. I just don't think it would.
Yeah,
depending on how
I
it
just don't
goes.
understand how you say that you don't think it'll work when it's already working.
Yeah, we're supposed to be moving forward with racism, and it's already working. And more things that change, they say
guys.
the
It's
same.
still getting better,
No,
but
it's not.
Guys,
are you still in chains? I got a gold chain on right now, but I'm not
Due
clinked
to
up
a
for
law
real.
pass, I mean,
guys, we're coming up at 50 minutes.
okay.
really?
Well, oh wow. Well, look, okay. Let this last thing real quick. Okay, so you got Bree, and then you got, let's say you got some twins. Okay, just an example.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh,
Twins.
I just come up with the funny thing when Mom used to say all the time, twins.
But here you go. So
I'm sorry.
You got twins.
Right.
You're a
I'm all
teacher.
ears.
She's got a little whatever job, something to get her through, right?
She's a teacher. I'm not gonna be a teacher. She's the teaching type.
Oh, Bree's the
Okay.
teacher?
Yeah, she's a lead teacher in a daycare.
Okay,
Oh,
so
interesting.
she's the teacher. We're just making an example. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
who's it
we'll
is.
just make her be the teacher.
Teacher,
It makes more
okay?
sense.
And you work, let's say you work at Ford or something, okay? All right. Obviously, that job alone, or let's say McDonald's, that job alone.
Damn.
I gotta make it
I'm
clear.
not throwing any shade to anybody that works in McDonald's. Can I at least get like a steak and shake?
It's not
Something?
enough to help. One job is the McDonald's job is not going to be
Red Robin,
enough
at
to
least.
take care of the twins and Bree and all the other stuff, right? Okay, with that one alone.
Okay, well in that situation, I get another job, but continue. I get 2 jobs.
Let's say it still isn't quite enough. Okay, whatever the other job is.
Okay, and that's completely realistic.
Now, okay, let's say it isn't quite enough. She's going on strike. She just ran out of personal days. She's coming home to you asking you, babe, they're telling me that if I don't show up to work tomorrow because I am out of personal days, that they're going to get rid of me, and they're serious. And they gave me my letter, notice, and everything. What do I do? Are you going to tell her not to go to work? Because if she doesn't go to work, you know that you're going to have to look at those 2 twins, them adorable twins, and say, hey, I can't feed you today because I don't have any income. You can't do that. So it's about...
But do you
I'm
tell?
just saying, what do you,
but if my
what's the backup plan?
If
What's the
I'm
backup
standing
plan?
by my girl, if I'm standing by my wife in that situation, then I support. You find a way to make do, no matter what the risk is, no matter what the cause is. If she's fighting for what she believes is right, and if she's fighting to better her life, in no realm do I have any right at all to tell her no.
No, but it's
in
something that
no
should be
realm,
talked
because
about.
if someone. We can flip the script, and if I'm fighting for equality for African Americans, and it's like, oh, I'm calling out to go fight for what's right, I would hope that she would have the same response. And okay, you do you, babe. You go fight for what's right. We'll hold down the fort here. We'll figure it out together.
Right.
But you have to. If you can't complain, then if she's gonna say, oh well, I'll sacrifice and go to work, then she has no right to complain about how teachers are being treated at all.
Yeah.
Teachers are being treated at all.
What
She
I'm
has
getting
no
at
right
is
to complain about that if she's not
due to the reason of the
you have to
strike.
sacrifice.
Due to this reasoning of strike, teachers are already not getting paid enough. Meaning, we have teachers with degrees that have spouses with degrees. Let's say you have a couple with 2 teachers that both work at the same school. They're both making whatever. They have degrees. They're certified. That are still struggling. Some of them are already in the hole with that and whatever some of the case is. They got kids, whatever. It's going to be really hard for one person to be like, I can't do that. Yeah. Because you can't just not have any income. Whether you ain't got no money saved up or you ain't got no backup plan, it comes to a time of need to where it's not that it's not because if you have to give in, it's not because of you're doing it for a better cause. It's like, I'm only going to work because I need to take care of you. If it wasn't for you, we would still be on strike or whatever the case is. Doing the strike catches eyes and it still moves forward. It catches eyes and it still moves forward. Doesn't mean that they won't get the change. But there's a point in time where you have to be using the brain. Yeah. And it's not about...
So are you saying that the people that are on strike aren't using their brains, bro?
You didn't listen. There's going to be a time where they're going to run out of those personal days, and they're going to have to use this.
That's where the whole idea of sacrifice comes from. That's where the whole idea of sacrifice comes from. You have to make sacrifices
to get somewhere.
Is you making a couple of more dollars on the hour?
You think Jesus wanted to get on the cross? No. He made that sacrifice.
Listen,
if it was another way around, he could have been like,
"Oh my gosh, there were so many scriptures I've been reading."
He could have been like,
"Oh,
well, I mean, sorry, y'all, and I can't really hop on this cross."
You have to look at it in this way.
We'll just have to tough it out together, folks. No,
there's going to be
the sacrifice,
and I'm not put in this position, so I'm not put in this position, so I don't know what I would do to the moment. So I can't speak for the teachers, but what I can say is you making a couple of more dollars on the hour, a couple more $100 a week, or whatever it could be. Yeah, that's a big difference. But let's say a couple more $100, $1,000 more bucks a week, worth you losing everything that it took you years to work for. Meaning you go into a homeless shelter, cutting your lights off, losing your house, mortgaging it, whatever you have to do, your car, whatever it is that it possibly could be for just a couple of more dollars on the hour. Now, I'm not saying that they should. Them striking alone has already caught the attention. Now there's a decision that has to be made due to the governor and whatever else and whoever's in charge of that. So that alone could be fine. But we don't actually know. Is it going to take them some of them to have to go through some even harder times for this to happen, or is the governor going to go ahead and he just passed this law like a week ago, taking away their pensions and all the other stuff.
And the Congress overrode it because of the protests.
Well, that's
it got overrode.
That's a step
so
in the right
them
direction.
Stepping out and protesting worked.
But here's
is
the
my
thing.
point. If they just been like, oh well, guys, we lost our pensions.
Well, y'all both coming up with some good points.
Nothing would have happened.
But are they getting the raises? Yes, or no. We don't know the answer yet. If that's the case, and everybody,
Bevin's ruling was overruled by Congress.
But are they getting the raises?
If it was overruled, then I would assume so.
No,
I haven't done my full
but
research.
it's a process.
He tried to take away
whatever
the
Bevin
for
said
retirement.
got overruled.
He tried to take away the assets as well as for retirement, but they still need to make a couple more bucks.
It's a process that they're working towards. I get what you're saying. You're coming up with great points.
I'm saying if everybody goes back to work now,
your perspective
if everybody goes back to work now before they start losing their home and telling their kids they can't feed them, are they going to be able to see a couple more dollars, or is it going to take some teachers to lose their homes and stuff in order for them to get these couple of dollars? That's what I'm asking.
The
process got overruled, yes, but which one is it first? Is it okay? We're going to have some leniency, give you some couple of more bucks, give you got your pensions and stuff back, and now you can keep your homes, or is it going to take for you to actually lose your home for you to get a couple more bucks on the hour? That's what I'm asking. Which one has to happen first for it to happen? One or two, because it's going to be a time.
I don't think anybody's
You're not a punk or a coward for
anybody's going to lose their home in this situation. The point that I'm trying to make is that it takes an extremely strong person to sacrifice for what is right. It takes an extremely strong person to sacrifice for the greater good.
They have
I'm not talking about the people that are using personal days and sick days. I'm talking about the people who are fighting just for the right cause, no matter what it does to self-detriment them. It goes back to our second episode when we were talking about charity. No matter how much it hurts you, as long as you're still giving the charity, the act of charity is being given. It's the same thing, whether you're using the sick days or the personal days, whether you're calling out, no matter what. If you're sacrificing your time, your paycheck, and whatever in order to fight for what is right, to fight for the right cause, to fight for the betterment of everyone, then in my book, in my eyes, in my soul, I salute you because I stand with you.
I salute you as well, but all I'm saying is you see how they use their brain? They didn't just take off. They made sure they used them vacation days.
Okay,
that's
absolutely.
part of it, though.
That's by all means, go for that. Absolutely. By all
you're
means.
supposed to.
By all means, do that.
You're supposed to.
I'm not hating on anyone that does that. I'm simply saying that it's still, in that sense, it still takes a strong person to sacrifice for the right cause.
But all I'm asking is petty by the government is which one is it going to take first? They got their pensions and all that good stuff for retirement back, but they still need to see a couple more dollars an hour. So we have to wait on the government to find out here in the next, couple days when he decides to address it to say, hey, we're going to give the teachers a raise. Or we're going to have to hear so-and-so 15, 12 teachers out on the streets now because of due to the government slow process to make a decision on giving them 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 bucks on the hour at a time. So now we got to go through this. We got more poverty in the streets of whatever.
Well, that's the whole point. Like, you got to hurt them so they can know that you're being hurt. Like, just like he was saying, because sacrifice does come into that going. I just choked right there. But sacrifice does come into play when it comes to a lot of things that you want and what you truly believe. And if it gets to the point where there are going to be a lot of homeless people running around in the streets and stuff, it really hurts the government right there themselves because they have some. You know how much they have to go into taking care of when it comes to a lot of just the homeless people.
Let's do this.
But you have to. It's extremely hard, and I'm not justifying any effing thing that the government does. But when you have someone sitting in the clouds in the sky, how the hell are they going to see the fire that's on the ground if all they see is clouds and bright sunshine?
Oh, okay.
You got all these people at the bottom. You got to yell you got to be willing to sacrifice. You got to yell as loud as you can. There's this phrase called "yell it louder for the people in the back." You got to be willing to sacrifice and do whatever you can to get to those people at the top, so that they see, so that they can clear the air and see what the hell is going on below. Before they can make a change.
Like you're coming up with some great points.
All I'm saying is, let's say you two, right? Let's say y'all two are struggling right now.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna unless they lay us off or something. Hope not. You work at Ford. You work at
once.
Yeah, you work at Ford. You work at Old Charlie's. If you guys go on the strike or whatever, and you don't use your personal days or whatever, you ain't got none. What you gonna do now?
I'm gonna still do it.
So you willing to sacrifice and lose all this, and your car, a nice brand new car, and all
pretty
that?
much, because like I'm seriously getting sick and tired of it.
For myself, for a better future for my future children, hell yeah.
But you
yes,
you got to pull yourself out of debt again.
That's fine, and I'm a strong enough person to do that.
This is just all material things.
Now, anyone who says they can't,
no, it is, but
fine. That's on you. That's on your mental space. But for
keeping
me,
a roof over your head,
absolutely,
it doesn't have to be a mansion. I just say there's this thing about keeping a roof over your head, which we're supposed to do as people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking you to buy a mansion. I'm just saying that you have to. There's ways to bring in money to the table without having to lose it all. And some people, like I said, you're not a coward or anything if you back out of the movement, because you come down, like you said, it's going to be really hard for an adult or a parent that has a child. We don't have kids, guys. So it's going to be really hard to tell your child, I can't feed you tonight. And, and then that leads to violence, meaning I got to rob somewhere and stack a couple of things in my pocket to make sure that my daughter eats.
Well, they
don't care about that. It's sad that we can't come together as a group, as a nation, to work on these issues together. Everybody's fighting for what they believe in. And
everybody thinks they're right.
They got their say-so.
Person who is fighting for something that believes that they're fighting for something that's wrong.
Exactly.
Everybody has
different perspectives
and
views on it. I'm not against the teacher movement or anything like that. I'm just saying that my view on it is that if it comes down to it, which one is the smart decision? Are you dumb for giving up everything you have for a couple of more bucks on the hour? And the pension, well, obviously the pension, that's more important. But
at this point, I'm not even really. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm interrupting. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Or is it okay to try to push through it? And now I said at the end, you win some, you lose some. I'm all for going for what you believe in. But like I said, I know we got to end this podcast now. We're going to play Mortal Kombat. I got to get Kenchi out. But anyway,
you're going to take an L in whatever video game.
Oh, wow. All right. That's a huge transition right there that you just did.
But anyway, like I'm just saying, don't feel bad, guys, if you have to back out so you can do for the greater good, because there's nothing wrong. You've been doing, if you've been teaching for 10, 20 years, I'm not going to say you've been doing fine, but you've been surviving this long for whatever it is.
But they shouldn't have to just be, my whole thing is they shouldn't have to just be surviving.
I agree.
If you are teaching the future of America, in a sense, you shouldn't live on a wage that's just surviving. But there's got to be some kind of ways that we can do besides just the protesting. There's got to be a way where you guys are going to have to take some time away from your family, as you already do, to go to school and teach, to try to come together as a group, to have meetings or some kind of way, up to the office. Clearly they've already tried that, and obviously that didn't work.
But that's not the only way. Protest is not the only way. I'm not going to sit here and list 10, 20 ways. You got to get creative. I'm just saying that protest is a popular way. It is a way, but it's not the only way.
I'll agree with that. Yeah, you can sit down and have a conversation with anybody, but they have to be willing to hear the conversation first.
Yeah, that's true.
What I'm speaking, I can speak till I'm blue in the face, but it don't matter if I'm speaking on deaf ears. If they don't want to hear what I'm saying, you got to be able to know how to affect people in a way that makes sure that your voice is heard.
Right.
So if that means that sometimes you got to take a little damage to yourself to inflict greater damage on who you're trying to impact.
That's not a little damage, though, in my opinion. Giving up what you.
Yeah, but you're not gonna
It
lose
goes back.
everything.
We're speaking in
Not at
circles.
once,
We're
not
speaking
at-
in circles. We're speaking in
Yeah,
circles.
we really
'cause
are.
I
Hey
keep
man, let's
just
close
going
this
back
podcast up, man.
I
so I
keep
can
going
kick
back
these
to
dudes.
just making the
I'm gonna beat up
sacrifice.
Sub-Zero over here on the right.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
first
Anthony
of all,
Marshall, he likes to play the Liu Kang.
man, first of all, bro, I ain't played Mortal Kombat in like
Yeah, it's
2
been a
years,
minute.
but
I
you
ain't
still
played in a
gonna
while either, but it's
take a
just.
L. The fact of the matter is, we can wrap up this podcast.
All right, so guys,
It's been-
we're gonna
we
link
can
the
continue- we can
questions and
continue
subscriptions down in the
maybe-
box below. You can hit me on my
Box
Instagram,
below?
Brian.
Say that YouTube
Quiet,
video.
shut up.
I thought your Instagram changed to Black Samurai.
If you would let me say it,
You started with
Instagram Black_Samurai25. Okay, you guys hit me on that. It is now on the business profile, which will be here that in like 3 minutes. For my email to be on there, and you can hit me up. All that good stuff. You got questions, call, whatever. All right, about fitness, of course.
Okay.
Or about any other thing he's trying to talk about. You already know who.
Go ahead.
Anyway, this imbecile. You already know.
That is rude. That ain't
Get out of my mic. Can I do my outro, please?
No, you can't just call me an imbecile, man.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, folks, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in today. We appreciate you and we thank you and we love you all for the support. You know who I am. It's the CROWNPRINCEAJ. That's the Crown Prince. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter. And with that, I will sign out. I'll pass it to my boy Anthony. Thank y'all for tuning in. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.
So yeah, I definitely agree with Aaron was just saying, and of course Brian too. But
You don't agree with
also,
that, I said.
I do. But what I was saying was, I love the support that every one of you guys have been giving us. You keep us going, and it's amazing. I know a lot of the conversations we have is controversial, but that's the great thing about it. And it's just amazing how we just got this podcast. This is our longest one yet. So yeah, thank you for tuning in for this episode. We hope to hear from you sometime soon, and look forward to the next episode. My name's Anthony Marshall. You know where to catch me on everything, and I will see you guys in the next time. Peace out.
Peace.